Welcome to the session on verifying claim data. Before we get started, we want you to understand where these forms came from. These are sample forms which have been modified using Adobe Acrobat to add some data just for the purposes of the discussion. You can see the form 1500, CMS 1500 from the CMS website here, and a sample super bill was retrieved from the American Academy of Professional Coders right here. Now, starting with this super bill, you would see the date of service up here, the name of the patient, the patient's date of birth, gender, insurance, subscriber name, copay, whether or not it was paid, the account number, the physician, and the charges for today and any other previous balance if there was one. Then we have further on down the page the office visits or office procedures and laboratory procedures which were done. What you would see further on this page is a listing of other procedures, diagnoses, and whether or not the patient needs to be referred out for specialty. Many different offices set up super bills in different ways, but we just really wanted to look at what is in our practice management system versus what actually shows up on our claim and whether or not they are correct for a particular case. So this is the information that we will be using. All right, this is the top of the CMS 1500 form, which is the patient data. So what we've done is extracted the information from a portion of that super bill for ease of use and viewing. Let's go ahead and verify some information. We see here that this is Green Cross Green Shield of Florida, and we see that our insurance indicated from our super bill is Green Cross Green Shield Commercial. Now, our practice management systems will very often abbreviate the names of insurance companies to save space. So that's what we've done here. So we verify it is Green Cross Green Shield, and in line 1 we do have the group health ID selected. So that is so far correct. All right, next we will move on to the insured ID number, which we have here, the 55 number. And we see that it is in fact the same number. So far, that much is correct. All right, now let's move to block 2, where the patient is Milk, Kirsten. Let's see if that tracks. According to our super bill, our patient's name is spelled differently. It has an A where there should be an I. Since we're going to agree that the super bill is correct and not the claim, then we believe it is Karsten who was seen, not Kirsten. So we have a problem with the patient already. We can check the address, which we're going to do anyway. We check and see that the address is correct. It's the same address. So here is where it gets interesting and why we may have identified the problem. According to our 1500 form, the date of birth is 3/24/1989. However, according to our in-office information, it is 3/24/2012. So this shows us that we have a different person in the same household with a similar name. Additionally, let's look at the gender. Our patient is male. Our claim says female. So if you're watching, you probably have already figured this out, but the guarantor is Kirsten. The patient is Karsten. So what has happened is the wrong person has been chosen as the patient. What should show here in block 4 and 7, instead of same showing for the insured name, should be Kirsten Milk. And in most cases, in block 7, the address can stay the same because they live in the same household. Block 6 needs to change though, because this is the child, right? Kirsten is the mother, so our patient is actually the child of the insured. So we have to change that, fix the birth date, fix the gender, and fix the patient's name. Next, we're going to look at the encounter information. Now we have the bottom of the CMS 1500 form, essentially block 21 and 24. Now, according to our super bill, this is our information. We have the date of service of 5/5. So let's check that. 5/5 is correct. Okay, these all say 5/5, so they're all the same date as far as we can tell. The procedure code that we have listed as actually being done with the patient is 99212, which we have here. Oh, but wait, we have these extra services being reported, but we don't have any information about them from our encounter information. If we were to submit this claim as it is, we would be submitting an error because the services here were not actually rendered to the correct patient. So what would we need to fix here? We would need to delete all of line item 2 and all of line item 3. What's the remainder of the information that we have here? The diagnosis code that we have from our super bill and our encounter information says this patient is E11.9, which we have over here. That the line item 99212 cost $58, which we have here. And then further on down the CMS 1500 form, we would indicate a payment of $25. So, as you can see, there are many parts to verifying claim data. And one tricky area is when names or dates of birth look similar. Billers, coders, and administrators all need to be aware when there are charts that look the same, as claims can frequently go out incorrectly. I hope this has clarified some information for you. Thank you for attending this session.